Hey, it's almost time to meet her.
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous, but I'm really looking forward to it.
But are you sure you've thought this through?
What do you mean?
Do you even know what kind of family she comes from? Have you looked into it? I hope you're not just getting excited without thinking about these important things.
Family background? I haven't really worried about that. She's a great person and I love her. Isn't that enough?
You're being naive. Marriage isn't just about love. It's about joining two families together. You need to know who her parents are and what kind of education she's had. If you don't figure that out now, you're the one who's going to regret it later.
I just don't see why her family matters so much. As long as we're happy together, that should be enough, right?
You really don't get it. Our family has a history of good education and high standards. That's the norm for us. What if her family hasn't had the same kind of upbringing? What are you going to do then?
She's not like that. I'm sure once you meet her, you'll understand.
It's not that simple. Don't you get it? The person you marry affects the whole family. This isn't just your problem. You'd be dragging us all into this, and you could end up embarrassing the family.
But is that really such a big deal? I mean, I love her and she loves me. Isn't that what matters the most?
You're missing the point. Love and affection are secondary. The real issue is whether she's suitable for our family name. And education. What kind of background does she have? Did you even check her education?
Her education? No, I didn't ask about that.
What? You didn't even ask? How can you be serious about marrying someone when you don't even know the basics?
But she's responsible and I don't see any problems. I think everything's fine.
Are you sure about that? You could be setting yourself up for trouble. What if she's not a good fit for our family? Once you're married, it's too late to back out and say, "Oops, I made a mistake."
I chose her. Isn't that enough?
You're not listening to me at all. Marriage is a lifetime commitment. It's not just something you can undo. You're rushing into this without even looking into her background, just because you love her? That's a childish way of thinking.
That's not true. I've really thought it through. She really cares about me, and I believe we'll be happy together.
What's going on?
So, it's finally tomorrow. I can't believe I'm nervous about meeting my own parents.
Don't say that. Now you're making me even more nervous.
Haha, I'll take care of everything tomorrow. My mom can be a bit strange, but I'm sure she'll love you when she gets to know you.
I hope so. It's going to be a long relationship. So first impressions are important.
Yeah, but for her, it's not just about how amazing or kind you are. Honestly, she cares most about where someone went to school.
Wait, really? I hadn't thought much about that.
Yeah, she always asks my siblings' partners about their degrees first. Whether they graduated from a prestigious university. That's always been her top concern.
Wow, I didn't realize. I never thought education was the measure of someone's worth, but I guess some families see it differently.
At least in my mom's case, it's a big deal. I think she wants something to brag about. But I've been wondering if I should even tell her about your education. It feels weird for me to bring it up.
Maybe that's something I should talk about myself. Honestly though, I don't think it's necessary to mention at first.
What do you mean?
I don't believe someone's value is defined by their education. I'd rather she get to know me as a person first. Through conversation and interaction. We can talk about education later once we've gotten closer.
That sounds just like you. Alright, I won't say anything. You can bring it up when the time feels right.
Thanks. That would really help.
Honestly, my mom is unpredictable. She could say anything, so don't take it too seriously. If something she says hurts you, don't let it get to you.
I'll be okay. I'll just focus on being myself and making sure she sees who I truly am. I'm not trying to conform, but I'd like to build a relationship with her over time.
So, my mom says she wants to talk to you beforehand. I tried to decline, but it seems like a hassle. Is it okay if I share your contact info?
Of course, that's fine. I guess it's natural for a mother to be curious about her son's fiancé. You can give her my number so she can reach me on Facebook Messenger. Is this Emily? I'm Bob's mom, Diane. Hi, yes, this is Emily Green. It's nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to learning from you and receiving your guidance in the future. Uh-huh. So, Emily, where did you graduate from? It's something that's been on my mind. Was it one of those big-name schools, maybe in the city, or perhaps... I'd be concerned if it wasn't a well-known one. If it's a small school, I hope there's a good reason for that. Well? Oh. You're asking about my college? I have to admit I wasn't expecting that to be the first question. You're not about to tell me you didn't go to college, are you? That would be unacceptable. Someone without a proper education wouldn't really be a fit for this family. If it's not an Ivy League or at least a school I've heard of, then that's going to be a problem. I didn't go to a big school in the city. I understand from him that education is very important to you. But I don't think a person's worth is defined by their college degree. I would really appreciate it if you could get to know me as a person first. Maybe we could talk about my background and values before diving into where I went to school. What? What are you talking about? Of course education is important. Do you not have the ability to judge people? I grew up in California and now I work as a graphic designer. I thought it might be better if we started with that and got to know each other a bit first. I think it would help us build a good relationship. Who do you think you are? I can't believe you're trying to tell me how things should be. Excuse me? All I care about is education. Nothing else about you really matters to me. There is nothing else I need to know. I just want to be sure you're good enough for my son. And that's all there is to it. Why do you think education is the only way to judge whether we're a good match? We didn't choose each other based on our degrees. I believe if you got to know me, you'd be able to see the bigger picture. I have no idea what you're talking about. Are you too dumb to understand my point? Or maybe you're just avoiding the topic because... Wait a minute. Don't tell me you didn't go to college at all. Just say it. Where did you go? Stanford? Yale? I did finish high school in the US, but after that, I went to the UK and received my education there. So, my last American diploma is from high school, but I've gained experience overseas.
What? The UK? I wasn't told about that. So, you didn't even finish high school here? Whatever happened after that doesn't matter. You're still basically a high school dropout, aren't you?
That's not quite accurate, but yes, my last American degree is from high school. However, I went on to college in the UK and later pursued university studies. For me, finishing high school was just the beginning, and I've continued my education ever since.
Unbelievable. A high school dropout wants to marry my son? How could someone like that be part of our family? I can't believe he even chose someone like you. You must have tricked him into this somehow, right?
Excuse me?
You're just after our money, aren't you? You're trying to use my accomplished son to boost your own status, right?
No, absolutely not. Bob and I met and naturally fell in love. Over time, we built a strong connection that led us to this point. It's not about money or status. I truly respect and love him.
Yeah, right. You say all the right things, but I can see through you. You're just trying to get your hands on our wealth, and I know it.
Please, calm down, Diane. Our relationship isn't based on such shallow things. We're bonded by something much deeper.
Diane? Who do you think you are? I never agreed to be your mother-in-law, so don't start calling me that. That's just rude.
You're right. I was too quick to call you by your name. I apologize if it upsets you.
There's no way I'm ever approving this marriage. Just listening to you makes me angry. I'm cancelling all my plans for tomorrow.
Please don't say that. We're trying to understand each other better. I'd really like to meet you tomorrow and talk things over properly. I want to hear your thoughts directly.
I have nothing more to say to you. Stay away from my son.
I hope that by talking, we can clear up any misunderstandings between us. It's hard to communicate properly through text messages, and I'm really looking forward to meeting you in person. Anyway, I'll leave it here for now. Thank you, and I look forward to tomorrow.
Oh? Did you not understand what I said? Or are you just not capable of grasping that? Unbelievable. I can't believe you had the nerve to show up.
You assumed I'm some high school dropout and judged me for it? That's beyond rude. And honestly, throwing tea on someone at an engagement greeting? That's outrageous. I mean, what kind of person does something like that? Don't you think that behavior is the real issue here?
Listen, I take great pride in my family. We've all graduated from prestigious universities and received excellent education. The idea that my children would marry someone from a lower educational background? That would be the end of everything. Do you even understand that? Have you ever thought about what that would mean for my family's reputation?
I think it's wonderful that you're proud of your family. That's something to be respected. But using education as a weapon to look down on others is wrong. And throwing tea on me because of it? I can't understand that. It's just disrespectful.
Enough. If you hate it so much, why don't you go back to school and get a respectable degree? That's the only way someone like you will ever be worthy of marriage.
Excuse me? Isn't that a bit extreme?
If you want to marry my son, go get a degree now. Otherwise, I'll never accept you.
Did you really think I'd let my precious son marry some high school dropout? If you want to marry him, you better get into college, now. I graduated from Cambridge, actually. What? I never said I didn't have an education. I left the US in middle school because I was a gifted student. Back in my hometown, they called me a prodigy. What do you mean? You were talking about famous universities in the city, right? Well, I think my alma mater is pretty well known too. I mean, practically everyone's heard of it, haven't they? Wait, what? So you're telling me you actually graduated from Cambridge? Are you serious? I can't believe that. Yes, I did graduate from Cambridge University. I only mentioned that I attended school in the US after middle school, but I never imagined you'd misunderstand so drastically. But even if I were just a middle school graduate, how would that affect my character? Isn't that what really matters in the relationship we have? Bob chose me not because of my degree, but because he understands and loves me for who I am. So I don't think throwing tea on me just because you assumed I had a low education is justified. It's nothing but an insult, isn't it? Oh no, I didn't mean to throw tea because of that. I just never really believed you actually went to Cambridge. Honestly, I kind of did it by accident. Accidentally throwing tea on someone? What kind of situation even leads to that? Normal people don't just accidentally do that. It was rude, plain and simple. I wish you'd made an effort to actually get to know me. Plus, I've met your husband several times through my work. Our company does business with his company, so we've crossed paths before. Wait, what? What do you mean by that? How could I not know something so important? Yes, I've met him in business settings before. It's a shame your husband couldn't be here today. But I'm sure he'd be surprised if he knew how you treated me. So you and my husband were already acquainted? Why didn't you tell me that sooner? I had no idea. Of course you didn't. You never gave me a chance to explain. You just yelled, "Get out, you high school dropout," and then threw tea at me. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for it to come across that way. I really didn't. Then what exactly did you mean by it? No matter your reasoning, it was inappropriate and uncalled for. I said I'm sorry. Can't we just move on from this? Isn't the fact that you know my husband now the more important issue here? Yes, I suppose you're right. I do know your husband through work. At first, I didn't realize he was Bob's father, but later on, I made the connection. It's a small world, isn't it? Our company operates globally, so I didn't expect to have such close business ties with my fiancé's family. But perhaps it's fate. I'm sure your husband would be shocked to learn how you treated me today. I had no idea you worked for such a prestigious company. I'm really sorry for the misunderstanding. And for my rude actions. I deeply regret it. So, could you please not mention this to my husband? Mention what? I spilled tea on you. I know, and I'm really sorry. Can you please come back so we can talk? I'll apologize properly. I believe most people deserve a second chance. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad you're reasonable. But I have to say, I've never been so insulted in my life, being treated like that. What? Wait. I never want to see or speak to you again. You're not coming back? Is that what you mean? Exactly. Spending any more time with you is a waste. Even if we patch things up now, it would only lead to more problems down the line. I want to avoid that. So I'm afraid we're done here. What are you saying? But you're still going to marry my son, right? I know I said I wouldn't allow it earlier, but I'll approve now. You can marry him. Just come back and talk this over. You asked me not to tell your husband, but it's too late. What do you mean? What's too late? Bob has already told his father everything. He called him just now. It's out of my hands. What? How could this happen? Don't let him do this. If his father finds out, I can't even imagine what he'll say to me. Please, stop him. I won't stop him. After the way you insulted and looked down on me. This is the natural consequence. You have to face the results of your actions. I was wrong. My pride got in the way and I lost sight of what truly matters. I don't think it's necessarily wrong to be judged based on your academic background. But that doesn't give you a reason to look down on others, does it? I don't care how you feel about it now. The damage is already done, and there's no going back. I can't lose my son. I can't. Please, help me. Loving your son is natural, but sometimes that love can become a burden. Unfortunately, you've realized that too late. What can I do? How can I fix this? You're just facing the consequences of your actions. You can't change the past, but what you do next is up to you. I don't know what to do. It's not my responsibility to help you. Right now, you need to face the consequences and accept what's happened. Well then, I'll take my leave now. Wait, please don't go. In the end, I never heard from Diane again. That day was the breaking point, and her husband filed for divorce. He was shocked and furious at her behavior. Her actions ended up destroying her own family. She lost her home, and with no one to turn to, she was left completely alone. Her prized education and status were of no help when it mattered most. I heard rumors that she's now living alone, scraping by with part-time jobs. It's ironic that someone who always looked down on others now finds herself the one being looked down upon. Perhaps it's just karma. As for me, Bob and I got married, and we've been living happily together. The events of that day, though painful, only strengthened our bond. Life works in strange ways.